Welcome to Tech Brothers. In this video we're going to install clustering services on Windows 2012 Server R2. In order to prepare for this demo, I have written down some steps that we need to follow. Let me give you quickly overview of these steps. We need domain controller information. If you don't have domain controller already installed, please watch my video how to install domain controller. And we need since it's going to be 2-node cluster, we need a couple machines. It could be VM or it could be physical servers. In my case, I have HyperV installed, so I have 2 machines already ready in order to accomplish this task. Fourth step, we have to give static IP to all the nodes that's going to be involved in clustering, and we need to know the domain controller IP. After we set up the IP, we need to make sure that the communication between node 1, node 2 and domain controller is all set. Number 6, we're going to add couple network adapters for private talk between node 1 and node 2. It's also called heartbeat, and I have written down the IP addresses that we're going to give. Notice right here the other IP addresses I have up here written down too. I'll explain it later when we get into actually installing the clustering. After we're done with above steps, we're going to install a failover clustering services feature for Windows, and next thing we're going to do is distributed transaction feature in Windows. Distributed transaction feature needs to be installed because if you wanted to install an application on this cluster, such as SQL Server, SQL Server does need DT feature on. And here is the cluster name that we're going to use, and here's the IP address. We need an static IP address for cluster. Make sure all the IP addresses that I'm talking about here, or what you're going to use, are available in your network. Same with the DTC services. This is the IP address we're going to use. And if you're going to use, as I said, SQL Server in this clustering mode, then you are going to need some shared disks. So this is just a quick overview what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and follow these steps. I'm going to show you that I have completed most of these steps until perhaps here, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick overview where to look for these settings. I have a HyperV installed. If you can see right here, this is my domain controller. We're going to go ahead and log in domain controller. If you see right here, in order to find the IP address of domain controller, you can go here, and this is the HyperV switch, properties, IPv4, click on properties, and you'll see the domain controller IP address is 192.168.1.35. So this is going to be our domain controller, and let's look into the setting of node 1. Let's log into the node 1. And look at the adapter setting. Right now it has only one adapter. I did not add another adapter. We will go ahead and do that during our demo. So look at the IP addresses of this node. This node has IP address 192.168.1.36, and this is our domain controller IP. Make sure that once you create the node, they are added into the domain. If you don't know how to add a node or newly created virtual machine with the existing domain, please watch my video how to add a machine in existing domain controller. So let's look at the setting. Next setting is node 2. Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and log in to this node. If I can type my password right. Alright, let's look at this network setting on this node. IPv4 properties, and you can see that this is the static IP address I have given to this node, and it is connected with the domain controller. So this is just the overview of what we have done so far. I have already installed the distributed transaction on one node, and I don't remember exactly which node it is, but we can find out in just a little bit. And the one that doesn't have the DTC installed or feature enabled, I'm going to enable it during the demo. Alright, let's work on node 1. Just so that you know that if you look at it, I have already joined these nodes with the domain controller. If you look at right here, the full name is node1 techbrothers.local. So this is added already into the Tech Brothers domain. So let's go ahead and install the features, required features for clustering. We're going to go into Server Manager and click on Add or Remove Features in Windows 2012 Server R2. Add Roles and Features, click on that. Right now it's actually gathering the data. It's a little bit slow, so bear with me please. Alright, it's ready for us to let us add the roles or features. We're going to click Next. We're going to click on role-based or feature-based installation. Since failover clustering is the feature, we're going to go ahead and select that and click Next. This is the server that we're going to install. You can add actually multiple servers and install this feature on multiple servers, but I'm gonna go ahead and do one by one just because I wanted to do this demo. Click Next. Just take a look on the roles that's available. If you look at the application role up here, I have already installed on node 1 the distributed transactions. Right here, incoming network transaction and outgoing network transaction. That's this part that I was talking about right here. So if you're going to install SQL Server on this cluster, you do need this feature to be installed. Click Next, and these are the features available. We're going to find failover clustering, which is right here. And click on Add Features and click Next. You have a choice if you wanted to click on Restart the destination server automatically if required. Most of the features does require restart, but if you have multiple features needs to be installed, I would recommend that you go ahead and install those and restart computer just one time. So I'll go ahead and not select that and click on Install. This is going to take a little bit time. I'm going to pause the video. As soon as this is done, I'll be back. Close this and go to Manage and look for Failover Cluster Manager. Alright, as you can see that the service is available for us to use. We're gonna have to go and do the same thing on node 2. Alright, let's do the same thing here. Add the roles and features. Go to Server Manager. click on add roles and features. It hasn't finished actually collecting the data, so as soon as it's done, then it'll let us add roles or features. Okay, it's ready. Click next. Click on role based or feature based installation. This is the node that we're going to install these features on. Click next. And we do need to install the DTC, so click on application server, click next. If you go, just take a look what's installed and what's not installed. Click next, next, and right here is distribution transaction. We need incoming and outgoing, so click on those and click next. You can click on restart destination server automatically if required, but I'm not going to do it because I do need to I'm gonna actually go back and install the failover feature, failover clustering, add feature. I'm going to add both together, so next, 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 and click install. It's going to take a little bit of time, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Once it's done, I'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and close that. You can use either node in order to work on clustering services. So let's check that if it's installed correctly. Yep, it did.